today we are going to learn about El Dia de los Niños or Day of the Children. So, do any of my participants know or celebrate El Dia de los Niños? Ooh, I see Sacagawea's on, Elena's on, Maddie's on. So, have any of you celebrated Children's Day before? No? Okay. Well, we're going to learn today. So, today we're going to do a really cool activity that gets a little messy, but I like messy. I think that if you don't make a mess, you're going to have fun. So, let me pop open my chat too so I can, oh, Elena said yes. So, as Andrew mentioned, we're with the University of Idaho Extension. So just a little bit about the University of Idaho.
University of Idaho Extension is helping Idahoans care for private and public lands through education to landowners, natural resource managers, and forest industries. From forest insects and diseases to wildland fire, stream protection, rangeland conservation, and logger education, UI Extension is guaranteeing the sustainability of our land for the future.
So just a little bit about myself. Some of the things that I focus on is I have a leadership club out at Caldwell Housing. So we get to do anything from STEM to cooking to leadership activities. We get to go out to Moss, which is the McCall Outdoor Science School. We had a Soccer for Success program, so I see that Sacagawea is on. So they were actually one of our pilot sites where we got to focus on healthy habits as well as learning soccer skills. And then we also have a Healthy Habits program. We do yoga for kids, which I believe Carrie, my colleague in Caney County, has also done yoga for kids out at Sacagawea. We also do quite a bit of STEM, so we've done things from like circuits to robotics, and we have these cool new Spherobots that I'm really excited to use. So hopefully I can go to one of your sites because I see there's a couple of schools on here. We would love to partner with you all and see how we can provide that programming in your schools or your after school programs. And then going back to my presentation, so we're going to learn a little bit about El Dia de los Niños. So El Dia de los Niños is a celebration, or the Day of the Children is a celebration that takes place typically April 30th in Mexico. It's slightly different for every country. And it's really to recognize the importance of children in our society and focus on their well-being. And then again, it originated in Mexico about 1925. So you'll see that different organizations and even different countries celebrate it slightly different. Yesterday I asked my mom, like, Mom, what did you all do for Dia de los Niños? And she said that mostly it was celebrated during the school time. And so they would have different activities that they got to participate in. And then off to my right, you can see that there's like a list of different countries that celebrate Dia de los Niños. It just may be slightly different. So we have Turkey, China, Japan, Colombia, Peru, Chile. So they do all kinds of cool stuff. And then, let's see, we have, so the way it's celebrated, at least in Mexico, you get gifts. So those gifts can be anything from like a small little ball or a toy. It could be candy. There's typically all kinds of activities as well. So some schools will do parades, or if you have like a community organizer, they'll do a parade. There's different crafts. Like today we're going to do a craft, or I'm going to demo a craft. You could do different games as well. Treats. Typically you can have pan dulce, which is just like Mexican sweet bread. Flan, which is similar to a gelatin jello cake. If you have not had flan, I highly recommend it. It's delicious. And one of my favorites is arroz con leche, or a rice pudding. So that one's a really fun treat to have. And then of course there's parties. So and they can take place in parks, libraries, schools. If your family celebrates it, then that would be something that you would celebrate at home. I know that in the Treasure Valley area, there's a Spanish radio station who typically celebrates El Dia de los Niños. And this year, unfortunately, because 4-H does participate in it, unfortunately, they're not going to do their big community event that they normally do, mainly because of staffing. but I would look out for those events in the future. They have different vendors where they have giveaway items. I've seen them do like school supplies, books, and then they also have activities there. So today, my activity is we're going to make a piñata. So I have not made a piñata in a very long time. So I actually wish I had pictures. I couldn't find any pictures. So here are the steps real quick. So we'll do a mixture of flour and water in a bowl. You can use glue, but I prefer the flour. It's just a little easier. I think it's a little less messier too. And then you need balloons, newspaper, or any kind of scratch paper or scrap paper. And then we'll dip that paper into the paste that we make. And then from there, we'll just keep layering and layering that balloon. And then after that, you're supposed to let it dry for about 24 hours after you do about 3 to 4 layers. And then you can decorate it. But we're gonna pretend this is like a cooking show, and I have some of those steps already prepared for you, so we don't have to wait. Okay, so while you're doing that poll, I am only wearing gloves because I need it to be a quick transition from the next step. So normally, like yesterday when I was prepping for this activity, I did not use gloves. So it's okay to get messy. That is why I have a table cover yesterday. I did not put on a table cover. So it just minimizes the mess and avoids the stickiness. So I think, do we want to do like 8 more seconds on the pool?
Yep.
Cool. Okay, there we go. So, all
right, I will now close it. Thank you for participating.
Thank you. Okay, so you're going to need 1 cup of flour. Make sure to ask a guardian or adult in your household if you can grab some of these items. So we're gonna do 1 cup of flour, all purpose. So you'll put it in a mixing bowl, what I have right here. And then you're going to need a whisk. And then I'm gonna close this so I don't spill it. And then it's really like a 1-to-1 ratio of your liquid and your flour. But yesterday, as I was making the paste, it was a little too thick for me. So we're gonna do 1.5 cups of water. And so you're just gonna pour it into your bowl. And then you're going to whisk away. I want you to think of like a runny pancake batter almost is what you're trying to get, or if you can think of like how runny glue can get, you want that same consistency. And it's okay if you have chunks. It doesn't have to be perfect. So be mindful of the time. So you're gonna take your balloon after you're done whisking. So it should look something like this. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, I see the hole. Okay, so you're gonna take your balloon. I did a small balloon, so you could be as creative as you want. You can make it as large as you want. Just know it's gonna take you a little longer to decorate it. So you're gonna need a plate or some kind of, maybe a baking sheet so it doesn't make a large mess. So you're gonna take your balloon, and I have some newspapers pieces that I have pre-cut. I used a paper cutter, so if you have that at home, if not, scissors or what work fine. You could also just use your hands and tear them apart. So very minimal in supplies. This is just scratch paper. It's a little thicker. If you want to stir your piñata, I would probably go with the scratch paper. So you'll take your newspaper, whisk it, and then you're going to dip it. And then you don't want it to be drenched because it will take longer to dry, trying not to make a mess in the kitchen. And then you're just gonna add it and layer it onto your balloon. Dip, layer, and then take off the excess. And the balloon is staticky today. And then you're gonna keep building and adding newspaper We'll do some scratch paper just so you can see that. It's really staticky today. Just me. Okay, so then you'll take off the excess, add it to your balloon. So it'll look something like this. I also went ahead and did a colored balloon just so that I could see if I leave any open spaces, because then that means that your balloon isn't going to be very strong in that area. So if you can see pink like right here, then that means that you missed a spot. So go ahead and add that. So I'm going to transition to the next step. So after you've done about 3 or 4 layers, it should be hard. So I don't know if you can hear that, but it's a little hard. That's what you're looking for before you start decorating. So you're going to take tissue paper. You can pick any colors, you can do any design, you can even add on to it, and maybe you decide not to go with the balloon idea and you do cutouts of cardboard. You can do that too. So you could do all kinds of stuff, and you can do mix and match. So you want to cut your tissue paper about this wide, say it's about 1 inch for this this type of cut, and I'll show you that closely. I'm actually going to move forward. So if you're looking to do something super easy, you can cut your sheets of paper like this, and then you don't have to do the extra step. I'm going to show you the extra step. So if you did the extra step, you fold your tissue paper, and you probably want to do about 1.5 to 2 inches. You'll fold it in half, and I found that it's super easy to just tuck something like a straw. I was going to say a popote. Popote is a straw in Spanish. You'll tuck it in there just to help you, and then you're going to glue that edge. So you can see, and you don't want to drown it in too much glue, just because then you're just going to have soggy paper. And I've noticed that some tissue paper will bleed. Oh, I think make sure you check the glue bottle. So then you just add a little bit of glue, and I'm just going to do this real quick for the demo. And then as soon as you get your glue on there, you're going to pinch it, and then we're going to pretend we did it all the way to the end. You're going to take out your straw, and then you are going to cut the non-glue side, and make sure you don't cut it all the way to the top, and don't cut your fingers. And then you'll get something that looks like this. So I think this looks a little prettier and fuller. It makes your piñatas look a little fuller when you lay them on the paper. So I'm going to show you real quick how I glue them on. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You could always go back and hide it. So you're going to take your balloon, and I started from the bottom on mine, just because I thought it was easy. And you're going to make your little line of glue. And then you're going to lay the edge down on that glue like so. And you're going to press down with your finger, and then you'll keep doing that all the way around until you get a full balloon. And then if you decided to go with the straw method where you get a fluffier string, you're just going to do the exact same thing. But as you create your rows, you're going to overlap them. So think of like you're laying shingles on a roof. You don't want any empty spaces, and that's why it's also important to have like a colored balloon, so you can cover those holes. So this is the straw method, or if you're like, I need to save time, then you can do just the 1 inch. So We're gonna fast forward. I already finished that step on mine. And then you'll get something that looks like this. So it's completely covered. The bottom part gets a little tricky and you may need to do your pieces a little smaller so you can just glue them as needed. On mine, you can see that there's still some white spaces. That's okay. I'm gonna go in and fill them in later. And then once you get a complete coverage on yours, you're going to actually pop your balloon inside. So you wanna keep your balloon inside until you're done wrapping it, because then sometimes it can lose that structure. And then you're going to use scissors to pop your balloon, and then you're going to take it out. And then you can use, for safety, I recommend a hole puncher, and you're going to do 2 holes on each side because you want to hang it, right? You want to be able to hang your piñata and be able to hit it with the broomstick or something. No bats. We usually use like a broomstick, and then we decorate the broomstick as well. So you'll loop the string in. And then once you're done looping that string in, don't forget to leave that hole at the bottom, so you don't want to cover it all the way, because you're missing one important item from all piñatas. There we go. Okay, so then you put in your favorite candies. I was just showing Andrew before we got started today that one of my favorite candies is a Duvalin. So you'll pop those into your piñata. I love these. It's called a Limon 7, and all it really is salt and a lemon flavor. So you'll pop those into your piñata and any other candy. You could also, I've seen people put money in them. I've seen little toys or little knickknacks that you can put in them, and then it's ready to hang. And mine is supposed to be an apple. And then once you get done putting your candy inside, you can finish it off by covering the top, or you can do a little flap. And I'm just gonna put a little stem on mine, and I'm just gonna secure it with some tape. And then that should prevent most of the candy from slipping out. I may need to staple it actually. So, and then this is your little completed piñata. Again, you could get crafty and do something that looks more like this. So just to recap, just the steps again. Like I said, it's typically a 1-to-1 mixture of your water with your flour, but I went ahead and did 1.5 of water, just because I thought it was a little too thick and I wanted it to dry a little quicker. Then you'll blow up your balloon, you'll cut your newspapers or your scrap paper, and then you'll dip it into the paste, squeeze out the excess, and then start applying it to your balloon. You want 3 to 4 layers. And then from there, you'll let it dry. It takes about 24 hours if you do a very thick coat and a very thick paste. I think mine yesterday took maybe like 6 or 8 hours to dry. And then from there, you can start decorating them. You can add all kinds of craft items. You don't have to just do tissue paper. And then, so thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, please let me know in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself. And then please do not forget to scan the QR code to give us some valuable feedback. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. I look forward to seeing you in future sessions.